Hi everyone. This is a little bit earlier than I normally do my Tuesday lives. I usually do them at 6:30 each Tuesday, but I'm having to go on a little bit early today because I have a very sick puppy on the way for Grammy to take care of. Y'all have met Mila, the little black and white one that's so full of energy. But they boarded her, Jennifer boarded her this weekend to go to a family reunion, and when she got back she had what they call kennel cough, and it's just an upper respiratory illness that dogs get sometimes when they're boarded and when they're around a lot of other dogs. Well, she got it and she is very sick, so Jennifer has to work tomorrow, and so Grammy needs to take care of her, so they're on their way. She's been throwing up a lot, so I mean really sick. So I thought instead of canceling the live that I would just get on here early, and hopefully there'll be somebody on, but if not, I understand and you can watch the replay. So tonight we're going to, this is a big, I didn't remember it being this big, but this is one of Tamara Bennett's. It's a mason jar with flowers in it, and as you can see it's not etched, it is laser cut, but it did not have a design on it. So I just kind of mocked up, I don't know if you can see those the graphite marks. I just kind of played around with it. Hi Lois! I just kind of played around with it and with graphite paper traced on a pattern for it. So I thought it would be so cute. We're not going to do it these colors, but I thought it would be really cute also to do it patriotic. You could do the mason jar like a flag, and then the flowers in red, white, and blue. So if I had another one, I would do it that way too, but I'd already put out the other colors to do it. But anyway, you could do it on the back that way, so you could have two different ones on one on each side. But my name is Pam Savage, and I am owner of Young at Heart Creations. I love to paint, and more than that, love to teach others to paint. I love having paint parties. We have so much fun at them. And I'm going to go ahead and get started base coating. I'm going to use my 1.5 inch handy dandy brush, and if you are coming to the event in August, the deadline to sign up and register is June the 30th. I have to have a count by June the 30th, so I have a quota that I need to meet in order to make this event happen. So tell your friends, bring a friend, bring a group of ladies get them to register and come with you from a church group or co-workers. The teachers I know just got out of school and they need a good day of just fun before they go back to school. So it will be August the 28th. I have links all over this page so that you can go to that or go to my website, which is youngatheartcreations.com. And under events, it will also have a place for you to register there. So I had 3 more sign up today. So, I mean, they're coming in, and hopefully we'll have some seats left for you. So, but don't delay, because I do have to have a cutoff date, June the 30th. We have all ages from 18 up. I know there are some very young ones coming, some very aged ones coming, gracefully aged ones. So, I mean, we have a broad spectrum of ages. We have beginner painters that have never painted before. We have advanced painters that are very used to painting but just want to come have a day and be with the ladies and just come and paint. And the nice door prizes aren't going to be bad either. So, hi Lewis! I hope you're enjoying retirement. Okay, let's get started on this mason jar. And I've already base coated it white, and as I said, I traced on the pattern with the graphite paper. And y'all have seen me do that before. I will have an hour at the event that I'm going to show you just some different paint strokes and techniques that maybe you haven't seen me do yet. But I know there will be several that haven't, so that's going to be something else we're going to work in. We'll have a quick little speaker that has been a painter for a long time. Okay, this is Deco Art Americana Spa Blue, one of my favorite. Very light and summery. So I'm going to bring you down, and I'll pop back on here in just a minute and see if I can get you close enough so you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing some base coating with this pretty color, and I'm going to go ahead and do the jar first because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to have the flowers come down over the jar or like they're in the jar. So I'm not sure about that yet, so that's why we're going to go ahead and do the jar first instead of the flower. Ooh, it's a pretty color. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And as you can tell with everything else I've got, my tablecloth, my walls, a lot of times my clothes, this is one of my favorite colors. Now I am watering this down just a little bit because I do want it to be kind of a soft, almost translucent, like a jar kind of. All right, let's go ahead and get this line defined. So I'm going to go right where that line is, stand it up on its chisel edge, and just go ahead and define that top of the jar. And then just pull it down to smooth it out. Oh, I could just paint this color all day long. I got on here live a couple of days ago. I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember. I was painting Christmas trucks. And I told you I'd probably hop back on while I was finishing them up, but I didn't get them finished. And by the time I hopped back on, after I got my other stuff done, it was way too late to be doing a live. I didn't think anybody would appreciate a text that time of night. But I'll show them to you in just a second because I have a question I want to ask you on them. I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday looking at, because I want to have a grand prize. Now I don't know yet, but I'm working on getting a Cricut Maker as the grand prize at the event. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. I'm working on it. Depends on how many more I get to sign up, because I'm using those funds for your food, for all of the materials, for nice door prizes. So we need bodies in those chairs. The 3 more today that said yes, 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 they were coming. They haven't registered, so I haven't been able to count them. So if you are coming, please register so I can get you in that head count. And don't want you to lose a spot. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for just a minute while I show you the trucks that I was talking about, the Christmas trucks. I know it's supposed to be Christmas in July, but I was in the mood for Christmas in June. And I've just put a base coat on one of the words, Merry Christmas. So I've still got a little ways to go on them. Here's the first one. So it's going to say Merry Christmas, and I'll show you this one in just a second that I've just base coated. They're kind of big. So there's that one. Now I want you to look at the hubcaps. The difference in the 2 trucks are the hubcaps. So I want you to tell me which one you like best. There's that one with the original gray silver hubcaps. And then I had an idea on this one. And again, don't look at this wording yet because it's just base coated, and I haven't put the second coat on, and I haven't cleaned it up around the edges. But here are the hubcaps on the second one. Hi, Jerry. So remember, these are still rough. I mean, not finished. So don't look at the messy wording because I've only got 1 coat on it, and I haven't cleaned it up around the edges. So those hubcaps or the plain hubcaps, either one. And what I do on the hubcaps, if they want it personalized, I put like the Savages on. I'll do the and then Savages on the other hubcap. So there you go. Which one? Peppermint hubcaps or the plain ones? So everybody, let me know what you think. I will try to get those finished, and then I've got 2 more to do. So those will be in the booth, and this one will be in the booth. And for those of you that have just hopped on, hi Marina. I'm much earlier than I normally am, but I was telling them I've got a very sick grand dog that's on her way, very, very sick. So I'm going to have to be taking care of her here in just a little bit. So I'll just, instead of canceling, I wanted to go ahead and just get on and go ahead and start with the live. Okay, so while that's drying, let's do our flowers. Okay, so the petals on this, let me get you back down here. You like the plain ones better? And see, I'm just the opposite. I like the peppermint ones. So we'll see what the vote is. Okay, for these petals, it just, again, it did not have the pattern on it. So the petals on the outer edges are there to kind of show you where the flower would be. So instead of just trying to freehand, or I guess this could be called freehand, you know I use these all the time for so many things off of the Kleenex boxes. They make perfect flower petal patterns, and you can make it small, you can make them big, they make cute little bows. You can just do anything you want to using a pattern with them. So many things. Hi, Linda. Hello from Michigan. Wow. Oh, I wish you could come too. I sure do. Just come on. Make a vacation out of it. Okay, so I used these to go ahead and, because they were just the perfect size, to go around and place where my other ones were going to be. And let's see, I think I've got my pattern page. Let me grab that right quick over here. See where I put it. I'm going to put it over here. Here it is. So I just put two 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper together to make it almost an 11 by 14. So, and I laid it on here. I first drew it out. I put it on here, and then I used these to kind of draw out where I thought it would go, and I just placed it around and just traced it around on there to make my pattern. And then I put the graphite paper underneath. Once I got the pattern drawn on the paper, y'all know me, I don't really do anything technical. I do everything by hand. So I placed my graphite paper down, put my pattern on, got it all lined up, put a tiny little piece of tape just to kind of hold it in place, and then traced it on. Now I've got centers here, but I haven't put the centers on the flowers here yet because I wanted to show you what I used for that. Stick these back over here. I am constantly, if I'm needing something, 9 times out of 10, I'll go to my kitchen and I can usually find something that I'm wanting. We bought these for the kids. They love to drink their grape juice out of them. Walmart has them, these little bitty cups. We just love them. They like to put ice cream in them and eat them with a little spoon. They just love to do so many things with them. They're great to put paint in for them, but made a perfect circle for the center of these flowers. So let's go ahead and draw just barely with the pencil. We'll just draw our little centers on there. I'm also looking at, I guess you would call them projectors, where you put a pattern underneath the light and it puts it on the wall or whatever you want to trace it that way. I use those. I use one to do when I'm doing windows, and I'll put the pattern underneath it, and then it lights up on the wall for me, and I can trace it on my window that I'm painting. So I'm also looking at something like that for prize, door prize. So I'm trying to find some things that you would really be able to use and enjoy, and that you might not go out and buy for yourself. Okay, so we've got circle here. And this flower is behind, the flower here on the top one is on top of these flowers. So the petals will go under just a little bit. And I chose another blue to do this flower with. So I think I'm going to do the blue one up top so it's not touching real close to that one. Okay, bring it down just a little. I'm not promising that I will get finished with this tutorial because of the sick puppy, but we will get as much done as we can. Okay, so that's still just a little bit damp, so I'm going to wait on that. And let's go ahead and do the blue. Oh, let's see. Let's go ahead and do these two flowers first because this one's going to go over those. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to erase just a little bit that pencil line because we're going to be using yellow on it. So I'm going to erase it just enough to where I can see it. Now, something else you could use is chalk. You can use chalk and then just paint right over it. And once it dries, you can just wipe that chalk right off. Thought this was pretty and springy. You'll notice I'm brave. I do not have an apron on, but I'm going to do my best not to paint myself tonight like I did last Tuesday night. I'm still laughing about it. And I was not able to salvage the shirt, so it will be a paint shirt from now on. I erased that one a little bit too much, so let me put that back on just a little. Okay, good enough. All right, so let's do the pink one. Right, we'll make this one pink. And this is raspberry pink. So it's a pretty bright pink. Got me, Maria and CJ. Yay, okay, glad y'all, sorry I had to go a little early because of puppy, but glad y'all caught me anyway. Everybody needs a little painting time during the day. Grab a drink. Okay, so white brush. Make sure you got all those eraser shavings off if you've got any on there. Let's go with this. It's a low Cornell, excuse me, low Cornell, and it's a half inch angle brush. It goes down. We'll start out with that one and I'll see what that does. See if I like it enough. So what I'm going to do first is get the edge down here. I'm not going to go over the jar. I'm just going to do it like the jar is over the flowers. I think that will save a lot of time. If I was just doing it by myself, I would probably make the flowers come on, these two come on down. But for time's sake, let's go ahead and just do it this way. This is going to be a pretty pink. I like it already. Ooh, yes. Really pretty. And it will take 2 coats on this one. But putting that white under it first really helps these kind of colors pop. Helps them to cover a little better. We finally, we had just a little bit of rain this morning, and I'm understanding we're supposed to get another round tonight, possibly, not a huge chance, but then we're supposed to have a few days of sunshine. Oh, we're so ready for it. Everything. I mean, everything is standing in water. Our garage smells damp. You know, just everything smells wet, feels wet. Notice I'm going feathering out so I don't get it on those edges, but if I do, these are I wasn't very careful with the white when I was base coating it because I was hurrying. I'll just go over it with black. I'll just pat around it with black and that'll cover it up. So I'm just going to come right to this circle. Probably could have gone ahead and done the circle first and then painted over it, but we'll do it this way. I have been getting, oh, that reminds me. I wanted to tell you guys on friend requests, I do get a lot of friend requests on my Facebook page, but I don't, you know, unless we have a lot of mutual friends, I don't typically accept those or friend because Facebook limits you on how many friends you can have. Once you get up to a certain number, they stop it. And you can't put any more. I've been getting the weirdest friend requests from all kinds of men. A lot of them from Middle East. And I know that they are not painters, you know. So I'm very, very careful about friend requests. So please, if you send me a friend request and I don't reply, please, please, please don't get your feelings hurt. It's nothing personal. You can always private message me if you have a question about anything, but I'm very careful about who I friend. Because you never know what you're getting, you know, who it is half the time, and if they really did send a friend request, and then all of a sudden you start getting some ugly stuff on your Facebook that you did not post. So I'm really careful with that. And that Tamara Bennett gave me that advice because I was getting so many requests. So I asked her, I said, what do? I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want them to think I don't want to be their friend on there. And she said, oh no, I have to be really careful too. So just wanted to let you know that. But I've been getting so many just random and weird requests that I absolutely know they're scams. And so just wanted to mention that. Oops, I went over that circle just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get that defined. Oh, that's a pretty color. Tamara painted a little, like a little magical fairy house. It'd be so cute for a little girl's room today on her live. It was so, so cute. Well, I'm getting paint all over my hands, that's for sure. Twirl it around there and then just thin it out. At Vacation Bible School yesterday, I had this little boy come up to me. He's probably, I think he's 6 now. Cutest little thing. But he ran up to me, ran across the room, the auditorium, to come see me. And he said, Miss Pam, Miss Pam. He said, oh, look what I did. I had that on my hand. He said, I've been watching you on TV, meaning Facebook. And he said, I need you to paint something else that I can paint with you. He said, you have to paint a dinosaur. And I said, a dinosaur? Yeah, because we've been painting sunflower, snowmen. I don't know. They've been painting several things like that when I paint live. They wanted one and they would paint with me. Okay, I'm using a baby wipe because I got that pink past that line. Anyway, so he said, you gotta do a dinosaur. So I am going to find that baby a dinosaur, and we're gonna paint a dinosaur live here pretty soon. I promised him I would. All right, let's clean up this edge a little bit. I think on the other two, I will probably go ahead and put the yellow down first. In the center, I think that'll probably be a little bit easier. It'll cover a little better. Just a little bit of white out here. We had way more children today in VBS than we did yesterday, so that was so much fun. In fact, one of the teachers was, I think she had like 14 books, and she was already having to borrow some books from another classroom that didn't have quite as many in their classroom. They had so many. So they got the attendance award. It was like they won the Olympics. They're just so cute. It doesn't take much to just rock their little world. I mean, just make them feel so special. All right, I covered that pink up. Good enough. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. So this one's going to be blue. This one is going to be Apple Barrel Tropic Orange. So that's really pretty. It looks pretty with that pink, and it looks pretty with that blue. And that looks awful right now. But once you get that second, or if it even takes a third coat, once you get that on there, it just cleans it all up. These colors just make me think of, oh, orange sherbet ice cream. All right, I'm going to try this little bit bigger brush. It's not an angle, it's just a flat, and it is a 3/4 inch low Cornell. So I'm going to try it and just see. I just want to see what it does. Oh, but we were going to do the yellow first, so I'm going to use Banana Cream, Deco Art, and Banana Cream for the centers on these two. I'm going to do them first this time and see if that, because I'm afraid the yellow might not cover well if I were to have to go over it. So let's go ahead and do the centers on these two. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty. I know you probably saw my pictures of the all the animals and everything, because we're doing Noah in the flood, the ark. So they had all the big animals out in the auditorium yesterday. Well, when they got there today, all the animals were gone. And they were so disappointed. Where are all the animals? Well, we explained to them that the animals were inside the ark now. And so we have our kitchen fellowship area decorated up to be like the inside of the ark. So when they went in to eat their cookies today to Miss Noah's kitchen, is what we're calling it. That Nat is back, or hasn't left. Anyway, all of the animals were there inside the ark. They've just been amazing at what they're learning and what they can memorize. Even our 2-year-olds. It's just incredible how they can do the books of the New Testament, and just little sponges. I've got one little 2-year-old. She's so adorable. Tiny, tiny. She's got a head full of just the curliest blonde hair. And she's always mesmerized by, I have my fingernails painted, and my necklace that I had on today, she just had to try it on, and my bracelets and all of my rings, and she's such a little girly girl. But boy, is she smart. She can tell you all about Adam and Eve and the garden. So don't let anybody tell you that these little children cannot learn. They sure can. We even have a class for cradle roll. And you'd be surprised what they can learn in there. And just getting used to coming to class, you know, is very important. So we love them babies. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a coat on this. Should have done it first, but I'm back to the angle brush, doing the centers. Kind of in the mood to do some little pink and purple flowers. So we might do that next week. I'm just trying to get things painted up for you guys for the event, painters event. Oh, I hear the puppy here, and I can hear her being very sick. Breaks my heart. When you get attached to these animals, just like they, you know, are kind of like your grandchildren. Of course, your grandchildren are more important, but you do get so attached. And they each have such different personalities. The little Phoebe, my son and daughter-in-law's puppy, had to have surgery yesterday. Her little knee keeps popping out of place. Like every 5 minutes it's popping out of place, and it was getting worse and worse. So she had surgery yesterday, so our puppies are all kind of under the weather right now. I will be painting next week on Kyle and Emily's new house. I'm going to get it all painted and ready to go. for them. So I'll just be enjoying painting just with a little bit bigger paintbrush. This will be their first time to ever paint. So Mom's gonna give some tips. They're very excited about it. Okay, now while those are still wet, I'm going to go ahead and do my shading in them. And I'm going to shade with, what did I do with my other yellow? I don't think that one's dark enough. Okay, so I'm going to substitute. I had the primary yellow to shade with, but I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Ceramicoat, and it's called Straw. So let's go with that. Making sure those lids are tight before I shake them up now. Who else hopped on? Hi, Carol. Carol's coming to the event. Who else is on there? Oh, Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Oh, I so hope the event makes. I cannot wait to meet all of y'all. And I'm warning y'all now. Tell me if you're not a hugger, because I am a hugger. Some people are like, no, back off. I'm just such a hugger. Okay, so I've been practicing floating a different way than I typically do. Like Erica Wallace does. So I've been practicing trying to learn how to do it that way. So I've got still the yellow all over my brush. Just a tip of the darker. And I'm just going to work it around. And go back in and kind of reload. It's pretty much the same thing having both colors on. It's just the way you load the brush that's different. I haven't done a small piece for y'all in a while. Everything I've done lately has been really big for my little table. Oh, I've been seeing some craft room makeovers on Facebook, and they're looking so good, so cute. Jennifer? Oh, just make sure that was you. Yeah. Do you need anything? No. Okay, I'm live. Everybody says hello. She's having to be like a mom right now, taking care of her sick little doggy. Her little dog is her world. She just loves her so much, and they're just such good friends. Okay, so let me see if you can see the difference in the without anything on it, and then the center has the straw around it. So it does make a difference. Let's see who... Get rid of a text. Somebody's texted me. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and do these other two while they're still a little bit wet. I'm going to add just a little bit of moisture to it because it did dry a little bit on me. Got my fan going because it's been cold, and now it's supposed to get up in the hundreds is what I'm understanding. It starts the paint starts kind of breaking up for you when you're doing it. It just needs a little moisture on it. Add a little bit more. And I don't really care if I go a little bit outside the line. I didn't, but because we're going to have the flower petal color that will cover it. Okay, and then I'm just kind of smoothing out with just the yellow, the center there. Just going to get that brush full again. And just a little color. I must have yellow on my arm. I see some yellow there. Okay, I think it'll cover that up okay. Because on that side we'll be doing the kind of the pinky color. Okay, let's see if that's still wet enough. We had a little 4-year-old yesterday morning, and the preacher said the prayer, had everybody pray, and everybody bow their heads so that he could say the prayer. And after the prayer, the little 4-year-old raised his hand and said, "Mr. Toby," of course in his sweet little voice, "Mr. Toby, you forgot to pray for me and my brother." They had had a cold or something, so we had to have a prayer for him and his little brother. His little brother's just 1. And they had a cold, but they were fine now. But so then that got it started. Well, I need prayer for my dog. My dog is sick, and we need to pray for my dog. And then another, my cat's not been feeling good. We need to pray for my cat. So we just worked in, or he worked in the prayer, all the animals, all the pets. I was tempted to raise my hand and say, "Pray for our little Phoebe. She's having surgery today," but I didn't. But I did pray. I prayed for her, but I didn't ask for special prayers for her at the auditorium. Okay, so I'm just kind of blending that in, and then I'm just going to smooth it out over that circle. Shading, it does take a little extra time. It's an extra step, but boy, it sure makes a difference. Okay, so while my pink is still wet, I'm going to see if we can get some coverage on it. Such a pretty color. Really smoothing it out. We're going to go around that circle, the flower center, and then just smooth it outward. I need my smaller angle brush to get in between here. Too much water on it. I finally have a lot of hummingbirds hitting my feeder. And the most beautiful painted buntings I think I've ever seen. And we just have not always had those. They just showed up like a couple of years ago. Alright, just smoothing it out around that edge just a little bit. Paint it got just a little bit dry. I haven't made my Vacation Bible School cookies yet. I've got to get my cookies made. On the painters event, we are going to do a Christmas project and we're going to do a fall project. Not going to tell you exactly what they are, but they will be fun and you will learn some techniques on them. Okay, that pink might take a third coat, but turn it around just a little bit. And then we'll do the technique hour where we're just going to learn a lot of different things that I haven't been able to show you. We're going to practice those on poster board, and then you'll be able to take it with you and remember what you did so you can use it on your projects at home. I know most of the painters events, the live and the retreats, are usually 2 to 3 days. But I was trying to do the 1 day so that if you were close enough to drive or to even just come spend the night, you wouldn't have a lot of hotel costs. All right, then it's got some little flakes of something on it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the angle brush to get in these little small spots. So I could keep the cost down for you and just kind of try a 1 day to see how it goes. And maybe next year we'll do a 2 or 3 day at a hotel. I think it's going to be a long night from the sounds of the puppy in there. I don't know if y'all can hear her, but her cough is terrible. I didn't realize it was that bad. And of course, that's got Jennifer all upset. She doesn't like for her baby to be sick. Okay, that color will need a second coat, so we'll let that dry. Hi, Karen. Get up here. And Kimberly, hi. I've redone my arc on my mount so that you have a little bit wider view back here, but I don't know if I might end up having to get closer up again because it's hard for me to read that far without my glasses, but with my glasses on it's hard for me to paint close up, so it's kind of a losing situation there. All right, let me get all that pink out of there, those brushes. Everybody having a good summer so far? All around us, everybody's yard looks like they just don't care, but it's not that at all. All the businesses, I went to the post office the other day to mail some Happy Mail to someone, and their lawn, and it's always been kept really nice, but it was up to my knees. It was so high that we just can't get in with lawnmowers right now. So it has definitely been a mess. All right, so I'm going to go around. Almost looks like the sun. Around that sun. Smooth it out. The colors, all the colors pretty much that we're using tonight are transparent. And we'll take more than one coat. I'm going to pull you back down. Hi, Olivia. Thank you so much for hopping on. Don't forget to, those of you that are just hopping on, we've been talking quite a bit about the live event. I'm sorry, not live event. The Painters event is what we're calling it. Painters Day, Painters event. Got several more that are going. And June the 30th is the deadline to sign up. So don't wait too long. I need to get it finalized and let the hotel know how many meals, how many this and how many that, how many door prizes I need to go get. I was looking at that Cricut Maker as a door prize. Again, I don't know if that's going to happen yet, but I'm working on it. And I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I would use that. Y'all know how technically challenged I am. Would I use it or would I just let it sit there if I got one? All right, I went over that just a little bit with that orange, but we'll come back over it. I thought I took care of that little gnat last week. Maybe this is his brother. Okay, so let's put it back on here. And then we'll have the green leaves behind it. A little bit of water in there. That paint was sitting, got a little bit dry. And that's why Tamara says to use an egg carton. I just haven't. I've always used a paper plate, so I haven't gotten into that yet. I need to train myself to do that, I guess. Especially if I'm going to always have the fan running. Okay, then let's go ahead and get our edge down here done. Do any of y'all make homemade ice cream in the summer? Is that a thing where you live? It sure is here. I'm a little bit shaky tonight. So I'm kind of getting off those lines. I told you I was taking my mom to the doctor yesterday, and she got a very good report. Very good report. So last time we went, she was on a walker, and even with the walker, needed so much help just getting into the building and getting up to the elevator and to the doctor's office. This time, she just walked right in. Went in talking to all the nurses, and last time she didn't say hardly anything. She was just still kind of mentally out of it. But not this time. She's not able to drive again yet, so we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. Okay, this color looks pretty up against that pink. Bright colors. Right up in that crease there. While that coat's drying, we'll go ahead and put a coat of another coat on this. So this might end up being a two-parter, since I need to help with Miss Mila. Sounds like she's kind of calmed down at the moment, though. Oh, I bet being sick. I know when I'm nauseous and throwing up and everything, I sure don't want to ride in a car, and they had to ride up here from almost Dallas. That's probably why she was getting sick just then, because that car ride. Normally when she gets so excited when they turn a certain corner. She knows where she's coming, and she loves coming to Grammy and Papa's, just like the grandkids do, and she will get so excited, just barrel in that door and run and start licking and whatever. Not this time. I'm sure she's dehydrated. She's been talking to the vet, and thought the door was opening, but talking to the vet and making sure she's doing everything she's supposed to for her. Not sure if I will get to paint next week. We're having a bathroom remodeled, and the bathroom that they're remodeling is right on the other side of the wall in front of me. So it just depends on what time they finish. So if I end up having to skip next week, we'll make up for it. Okay, so let's let that one dry, and then we'll put a second coat on it, and I'll clean up those circles too. But let's go ahead and get our second coat on our blue. Such a pretty blue. Okay, and again, this is the Spa Blue. Now that's a little bit rough, so I'm going to go ahead and take my wax paper, just kitchen wax paper. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have y'all down. Thank you, thank you. She is doing really well. So she's having to deal with my brother's health issues that I told you about last week. So that's very hard, but she's doing good. You're just learning to use your Cricut Explorer that I have had for about 5 years. Oh, I'm a little scared. It kind of intimidates me because y'all know I'm not a computer person. But I hear you can do so much with it, and I thought, well, that would make a really nice grand prize for the Painters Event Day. So I'm really seriously looking into it. So we'll see. Depends on how many I get signed up. So I need quite a few more to get signed up. And I've had several tell me, yes, we're coming. I said, but you haven't registered. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. So get on there and register. And if you're not able to come, please let others know. But bring as many as you want and let them register, and just make it a fun day for you even. I mean, just your group even, if you bring a group. Okay, so let's get you back down here. Okay, I forgot to go over it with my wax paper. Now this wax paper or a paper stack, either one, for those of you that have not watched before, once you paint a base coat on something, it's going to raise that wood just a little bit. The MDF is not quite as bad as the Revolution, but if you'll just take this wax paper, just wad it up, and you use it 3, 4, 5 times, and just rub it over it. Over that first coat. That one's not quite dry. Those aren't bad. Then it'll just smooth it right out. And it's just wax paper like you would use in your kitchen. water in that one. Mason jars are still very popular. Now this one I'm kind of going back across the grain, but I'll smooth it out and we'll get it going the right direction. You know what, I just realized I used the wrong pink on this. We were supposed to use, for the base coat, we were supposed to use the Carmen. The Razzleberry is the one we're going to shade with, so I'll go over it to lighten it up a little bit with that. Just on it, I kept looking at that thinking, that really looks dark. That was supposed to be the shading color. Still looks pretty. What does Bob Ross say? Not a mistake, just a happy little accident. I sure miss him. I think he's 1,000 times more popular now that he's gone. People have really discovered him than when he was here. And he was pretty popular then. When I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday to look at the Cricuts, I had some of my flyers for the event with me, and I ran up on a lady. I was looking at canvases. I just left the Cricut aisle, and I was looking at canvases for a paint party that I'm going to be doing, and I got to talking to her. Asked her if she painted. She said, "Oh, yes, yes." I said, "Well, here, let me give you one of these flyers. We've got a painting event coming up." I'm always advertising it. And she said, "Oh, we're starting some kind of painter's chapter here in the area that they'll be meeting monthly to paint with each other and have guest painters that will teach different things." And in fact, we have our first chapter meeting tomorrow. She said, "I'll take this and I will," sometime today is when they're having their meeting. She said, "I will let them know about it. It looks like so much fun." So I met a new painter in Hobby Lobby. So if you're on here, hello. I told her what time I would be on, but I told her then it would be 6:30, not knowing I'd have to go on early. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more of that out there, and we're going to go ahead and shade it. And we're going to shade it with Deco Aqua Sky, so it's just a little bit darker. Still kind of moist, so that'll work out great. We may end up with a gnat in it if this gnat doesn't go away. I think it'll be just enough. I'm going to switch to a smaller flat. Just enough darker, so there's just enough contrast that I think it'll shade out pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of our base coat on there, and then just a little on the tip, just a little bit of that blue, and we'll start by going down. It's still kind of wet for me to lay my arm down there, but we'll go across the bottom. Oh yeah, pretty, pretty. I don't know if y'all can hear that noise. It's the, like I said, the bathroom is right on the other side, and that's the shower going. We have been in this house for 32 years. All of my children lived here. And we said something about just talking out loud really about moving, selling this house and moving, because it is a 2-story and we're getting older, and all the kids and grandkids were like, no, you can't sell that. That's our favorite house. They all love to come out and hang out here. So many memories. And talking about that homemade ice cream, I make just about every time they come in together here, I make homemade ice cream for them. Well, now they want the, I used to just make vanilla. Every time it would just be the vanilla. And, but they've discovered that I have learned how to make cookies and cream ice cream as well. So we didn't replace the vanilla with the cookies and cream. Now they have to have 2 freezers. Cookies and cream and, and vanilla. So I make 2 freezers now when they come. And I love it. I enjoy fixing it for them. And then during the holidays, they have to have Grammy's fudge. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the edge. Right down the edge. Oh, I can't stand to hear that puppy dog coughing like that. I know it hurts, and she's got to be exhausted coughing so much. The doctor told her, or the vet told Jennifer to give her Benadryl and honey. So just give her, you know, all the honey she wants, and that, she said that seemed to be helping her. All right, let's put that back because I kind of wiped it off there. All right, so we've got on our edges there. Sure makes a difference, that shading. Okay, so I'm going to get this a little bit wet here, just so it'll blend a little better. I guess what the puppy dog has is equivalent to, like, and I'm sure your kids did, if you've ever had kids with the croup, and you know it's always worse at night than it is during the day, but oh, it was so hard for them to breathe, and the cough would just sound like it just hurt so bad every time they would cough, and that's what she sounds like. So I guess that's kind of what I can say that it's equivalent to, is having a bad case of the croup. Okay, so that one worked out nicely. So I'm going to get this a little bit damp. So this is a new way of shading for me. You can go back and watch the old videos and see how I typically do it. And I still do it that way too. But I'm just trying to learn things new. Oh, I can hear her barking. That's a good sign. She always barks at our squirrels and birds. I've got to check on our other one. I haven't checked on her today. The in-laws, my son's mother-in-law, went over to help with her today because they had to work, and they live really close to them. kind of streaking just a little bit of that blue in there. Okay, so that turned out really pretty. I'm going to go ahead while I've got that blue out with a liner brush. This is a number 2 Royal Langnickel, just a liner. And we'll do our little swirl in there to make it look like it's inside it. So I am going to get this paint just a little bit damp. So when you're doing liner work, you want it to be kind of ink consistency. And I'm still trying to get used to this brush. The liner brush that I love, love, love. They do not make anymore. Low Cornell. Alright, so let's start right down here in the center. And we'll just do a little swirl. This one runs out of paint before my other one did, so I'm still really trying to learn it. And it's amazing the difference a good or a bad brush will make. You've got one that the little bristles on it are sticking out and are not formed the way they should be. You can sure get some extra strokes in there that you didn't want. I'll probably put something like Home Sweet Home or something like that on it. I'm not sure about that yet. I may get the wooden 3D and put Welcome on it. So I'm not real sure what we're going to do with that. But let's go ahead, since I've got this white out here. Sounds like I'm saying white out. It's not. I mean, I've got white out on my plate. Water it down a little bit more because that had been sitting there. And let's just put some accents on it. It's still wet. Get my daughter out here. Oh, my big one. It's the smallest one. Okay, I'm going to use a little daughter like you get at Hobby Lobby. It's another thing I'm looking at to put in y'all's goodie bags for those of you that are coming to the event. I'll look and see if I can find a daughter that I like for you. I use my daughters all the time. Just adds another little touch. Got it all over me. I'm sure I've been a messy painter lately. But they say, you know, the messiest cooks, the messiest ones in the kitchen are usually the best cooks. So just saying. Not crazy about how this brush breaks up. To put a lot of paint on it. moisture. I'll go back and put some dots on there. White just adds so much to it. Let's make this one a little longer there. Make this one a little darker. And let's put just a little, maybe in here. And let's put some up here at the top. And let's put some more dots. I have to get a little more white. That's just gotten a little too dry to make a good dot. Okay, so I've got a fresh puddle. And we're going to go dot, dot, dot. Dot. I'm just getting it where it just kind of hangs off of the daughter. I'll go back and make this one a little whiter. This line, we'll let it dry and see how it works out. I usually start with the one in the middle and then where I want it in the center, and then the one on each side just to kind of space it out. Now that looks kind of plain right now, but like I said, I'll put something. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put in it. I'm going to look and see what I have in my stash with VBS and having to take Mom to the doctor. I just didn't really get everything in my mind like I wanted it for tonight before I came on. Okay. So put your words or something on it. Well, kind of like, probably like this one back here. Here's a small one. Oh, I just realized I'll kind of use the same colors on this one that I did on this one. So here's the Home Sweet Home on that one. So it's kind of almost just a bigger version of this one. Different flowers, different typed flowers. But now I did not freehand those letters. I have those written. I printed them up on a computer. There are some things I can do on a computer. So I printed those out, and then I just used my graphite paper and traced them on and then just painted over them. So because I cannot hand letter very well on my own. I just haven't practiced enough to do that. Okay, so let's see if we can lighten this flower up just a little bit with the color that was supposed to be on it. Now this is Anita's Carmine Pink. So it's not a ton lighter, but it is a little bit lighter than what we were using. So let's see what we can do with that. And I'm going to start out with the 3/4 inch. Okay, much broader. Much, much broader. That's the color that it was supposed to be, and once I get the second coat on, it'll be even broader. Now it would be even broader with that white under it. But let me show you the difference. Okay, see the difference in the pinks? That's what it was supposed to be to begin with, and shade with that darker color. I got busy talking and wasn't paying attention to what I did, and I just knocked those little dots off, so I'll have to put those back on. But yes, that's going to make a big difference. So when you do your dots, that's a good lesson there. When you do dots, it takes them, it does take them a good while to dry. So you don't want to bump them. And when you're drying them on with a hair dryer, you want to get up away from them and just kind of put it on low at first, or it will just splatter them everywhere. Okay, this is a pretty color. I love it. I really wish I'd have put it over the white first because it's even prettier that way, but it's still going to work. Oh, it just hurts me every time she coughs. She's going to have some spoiling when I get off of here. I'll have to go give her some lovin's. Round that out a little better. Sounds like she might be trying to play just a little bit. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. My mom is loving her hummingbird feeder that I got her for Mother's Day. I've been going to get her one forever, and she's like, no. My stepdad was, no, I don't want to mow over it. And now that I get a call, I think we've got 3 different ones. There's a real fat one. There's one with a real pretty red neck. There's one, I go, oh, didn't think you were going to enjoy that hummingbird feeder. So they are enjoying it. They're so much fun to watch. Let's do some chisel edge in here. Try not to get my shirt in the dots that are still wet. Oh yeah, that's going to make such a difference. It looks so much better up against this orange. Let's see if I've got my... I got these 2 tabs, you know, kind of like stickies that you use at work or whatever, stick-it notes, but they were the little bitty ones. But this were the colors that was on it, so I taped over these just to keep them. So that's kind of what I was going for, was the pink, and then there was another one that had this color on it. But anyway, so that's where I kind of got that color scheme from. let this dry really well and put a good second coat on it, and I think it will brighten it up even more. When I used to coordinate the craft show that I started with the Band Boosters at our high school 20-something years ago, I did all the promoting, well, not all, but most of the promoting for it. I would go around to vendors. I'd go to all the area craft shows and big flea markets, anything that had a craft booth in it. I'd walk around Hobby Lobby and hand things out. I would put things on the windshields, flyers and things about the show, and then I learned you weren't supposed to do that, so I quit putting flyers on the windows. But I would put so much effort into it, so many phone calls. Hey, do you know about our show? But I was very particular about who I would invite. I would look at their items because I wanted nice items, and it was a school. I didn't want anything inappropriate because it was for the kids, but I enjoyed that so much. But I would always get so nervous. I added just a little bit of water to kind of thin this out because it was a little bit thick. So nervous because, the vendors were spending their money on booths, and I would always worry, like, oh goodness, I hope it, it does okay. And every year it would do just fine. We would have close to 2,000 in our, and this is a little bitty town. Howe is where the kids went to school, that little bitty community. And so for us to have close to 2,000 people come, the TV station came, the radio station came, and so it was always a huge event every year. Still going strong. Now COVID knocked it out last year, but I would get so nervous that, oh, I'm afraid I'm not going to fill the booths up, and afraid people aren't going to come. How else can I get word out? And it always worked. One year it was always in November, always the second Saturday in November. And we had some years where it was in the 90s. Some years it would be sleeting and snowing. Some years it would be storming. You never knew what the weather was going to do, but luckily it was inside. So that helped a lot. A little bit of that all over that yellow, more than I wanted. But it was so, and I also had a booth. I would always have a booth, and someone in my family would run my booth for me because I was all over the place, taking care of vendors and making sure everybody had what they needed. Greeting customers. Making sure the bathrooms were stocked. So there was a lot to do on it. It was like preparing for a wedding. So many details, and we always had Santa, so I would get him squared away for photographs, and he would walk around and say hi to the children. One year he arrived in a fire truck, and he was getting out of the fire truck. Luckily it was on the opposite side from where all the people were. He completely Santa fell out of the fire truck. But he didn't lose his dignity. It was on the opposite side, and nobody but me saw it. But I laughed at him. You would have to know that Santa. He's a character. Okay, I'm gonna like that much better. So we're letting that dry. All right, let's put a little bit of this blue. Make sure I got the right blues here. Okay, I'm going to shade in this one, and we're going to base coat it in Blue Harbor. It's almost got a little bit of a purplish tint to it, and then I'm going to shade it in navy blue. We're going to see how that works. And I will need to go back and put a second coat and do some shading and stuff on it. So I'm not going to be able to finish it in this session because I do have to go fix supper for the family. Typically I've already done that when I get on at 6:30. That's already done and taken care of. But I did not know that puppy was coming. All right, let's see. I'm just anxious to see what this blue is going to look like with it. It's just almost, not really, but it's just got a little bit of a lavender tint to it. But it's called Blue Harbor. Let's see what it looks like. See if we like it. Yeah. I think it's going to work just fine. It's a pretty color. I haven't used it in a long time. It's got those little paint boogers in it because I haven't used it in a long time. I don't know who it was I heard call them that. Probably Erica. I watch her all the time. Erica Wallace with Wallace House Designs. She cracks me up with some of her terminology. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to clash with that. What do you think? You think it clashes with this blue down here? Got a little drop of it on there. And then the green leaves will break it up some too. I saw where Maria with Little Maria's, I think it's Little Maria's Crafts. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, Maria, but she just got her website up and running. You'll have to go check that out. I had my first person that left a comment on my YouTube channel, and I was finally able to comment back to her, to reply to her, and she said she runs the activities for a senior citizen center, and she loved to watch my lives. She had just come across them, and I was wondering if I had something that she could paint with them to try to give them some, a painting activity to do. So I gave her some ideas, but I thought that was so sweet that she works with them and tries to do things creative with them. Alright, so let's go around this edge here. And I may have to reshade it a little bit. I've been staying up way too late this week, and my body's telling me about it today. I think that's why I'm so shaky. Not typically this shaky, but it is. telling me about it. Okay, so yes, that color is going to work. We're going to get some green in here. I'm going to go fix supper for my family. And then, depending on how the puppy's doing, I may get back on here tonight. If not, we will finish it up on Thursday. I won't do anything else to it until I can paint it with you. I'm going to do my best to get back on here tonight because I'd like to get it finished because I've got some other projects going, and since they're going to come start working on that bathroom, I don't know if I'll get to paint next week. And I've gotten spoiled being retired now. I like to sleep in till about 9, usually around 9, depending on what time I got in bed. But with VBS this week, I've been having to get up at 6:30 every morning to get ready. So my body's kind of been in shock. The alarm goes off and it's like, time for you to get up. Alrighty, so, oh, thank you so much. Hi, Judy Hawkins. Glad you're watching. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. Yeah, we'll work on it some more, but since everything unexpected is happening tonight, I've got to go take care of some things, and we'll finish it either tonight or Thursday. So I will do my best to get back on here tonight, but can't promise. But you should get your text notification when I do. And again, don't forget, love your orange. Oh, Rhonda, I knew you would love the orange. It is called, it reminds me of orange sherbet, but I've got two, Tropic Orange is the base, and then we're going to, we'll see if this one's dark enough. It's called Coral Blush. I like that one too. It's really pretty. So we'll do some shading, cleaning up and shading. And right, this is the stage it always looks like, you're like, oh no, it's not going to turn out. It looks terrible. Look at all those messy lines and all that stuff. But once you start putting the details on it and finish it out, it always looks good. And besides, you're not going to be up like this looking at it. You're going to have it hanging back, and it's not going to matter. But again, I thought this one would be really pretty. If I had another one, I would do it. But to paint it patriotic, like a flag down here, and then red, white, and blue flowers, that would be really pretty. And put some pretty stars down here. So that would be pretty as well. So I may make a pattern off of this one and cut some more out of just the regular wood. We'll see. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you either again tonight or try on Thursday. You never know what all's going on, but you'll get your text notifications, so just hop back on with me. Thanks, guys, so much for watching, and I'll see you in a little while. Bye-bye.